Most of us have wondered what our dogs would say if they suddenly started speaking English, but the real secret is that they already talk to us every day. They shout with a tail thump on the hardwood floor, whisper with a sideways glance at the door, and sigh entire sentences while settling onto the couch. We usually hear only fragments of that language, so we miss the deeper messages, those quiet truths our companions wish we understood. A dog's life is a web of routines, instincts, preferences, and emotions that overlap with our own in ways we rarely consider. When you start listening to those unspoken sentences, your relationship becomes richer, and many behavior problems fade because the root needs are finally met. You realize that a polite rear-end sniff isn't gross, it is a polite handshake. That a predictable dinner hour isn't dull, it is calming. And that an afternoon of fetch is more than exercise. It is the moment your dog feels alive and useful. Once that translation sinks in, you stop reacting to surface problems, chewed shoes, frantic barking, digging craters, and instead address the unmet need beneath each action. Take the butt sniff greeting. The first time two dogs meet, you might feel embarrassed when noses head straight for places people keep private, but to a dog, scent is biography. Anal glands carry an individual chemical signature packed with data: age, sex, health, diet, reproductive status, and mood. One brisk sniff can confirm whether the stranger is sick, stressed, or friendly, and that knowledge diffuses tension before it becomes a fight. Tugging your dog away too soon is like yanking a business card out of someone's hand mid-introduction. You do not need to let the ritual drag on forever. 15 or 20 seconds usually satisfies curiosity. Simply relax the leash, watch body language, and intervene only if stiffness, prolonged staring, or raised hackles appear. Allowing a controlled sniff lowers anxiety, builds confidence, and teaches your dog that you respect natural etiquette, instead of policing it with unnecessary scolding. Routine is the second silent request. Dogs watch clocks with their stomachs and sleep cycles, not with numbers, and they feel secure when dawn, breakfast, walk, nap, supper, and bedtime flow in the same order every day. A predictable schedule stabilizes hormones and keeps cortisol at bay. It also prevents accidents and destructive chewing that often stem from nervous energy. If your job or social calendar is unpredictable, try anchoring at least 2 fixed points: morning walk and evening meal, so your dog can orient the rest of the day around those anchors. When life forces a schedule change, introduce it gradually. Feed 10 minutes earlier or later for a week, shift another 10 the next, and so on. Those tiny increments keep stress chemicals from spiking, whereas sudden changes can trigger diarrhea, barking, pacing, or apathetic withdrawal that owners mistake for stubbornness or aging. Beyond routine lies genuine time together. A squeaky toy thrown into an empty room is not a substitute for your presence. Dogs evolved alongside humans specifically to read our facial cues, share our work, and sleep where we sleep. 10 minutes of direct engagement, a puzzle feeder you hold while they paw it, a trick session where you reward even sloppy spins, a simple watch me exercise with scattered treats, fills an emotional tank faster than an hour alone in a yard full of balls. When people complain their dogs ignore new toys after 5 minutes, the missing ingredient is usually human participation. Sit on the rug, roll the ball back and forth, praise every pounce. That interactive flavor satisfies social instincts and drains mental energy, which in turn curbs nuisance behaviors that pop up when boredom collides with pent-up drive. Speaking of drives, each breed and every individual carries hardwired impulses. Terriers want to dig and shake. Retrievers crave something in their mouths. Herding dogs need to stalk, chase, and control moving objects. When those urges find no legal outlet, they hijack household items. Provide a dig pit filled with sand, or loose soil where it is okay to tunnel. Give retrievers damp washcloths or purpose-built soft dummies to tote. Set up herding games with exercise pens and treat dispensing balls, or teach a controlled flirt pole routine. Redirecting instinct prevents the frustration that leads to obsessive licking, self-mutilation, or countertop raids. Owners sometimes declare a behavior bad without realizing they accidentally trapped a survival program in a modern living room. Unlock that program in a safe, structured way, and the bad melts into contented exhaustion. Food should be earned too. Wolves spend most waking hours traveling, sniffing, problem-solving, and tearing a carcass apart. Domestic dogs still hold that foraging blueprint. Dumping kibble in a bowl twice a day lasts 30 seconds and leaves 23 empty hours. Scatter half the breakfast across grass or a snuffle mat so your dog hunts nose down. Stuff the other, half into a cardboard box layered with paper towel rolls. Freeze dinner in a rubber toy so the dog has to gnaw and lick through ice to reach the core. That mental workout rivals a mile-long walk. It also slows gulping, reducing bloat risk, and provides jaw exercise that keeps teeth cleaner than passive chewing on rawhide alone. Leash equipment matters more than many realize. A collar concentrates force on a dog's trachea and cervical, spine, which can inflame airways, pinch nerves, and worsen pulling by triggering an opposition reflex. A front clip harness shifts pressure to the sternum, distributing load across the torso and giving you mechanical steering. Within days, many dogs stop coughing, their gait loosens, and reactive lunges shorten because the dog is no longer semi-strangled by its own enthusiasm. Pair the harness with reward-based healing games, treat at your thigh whenever the leash slackens, and you amplify that comfort into reliable, polite walking. A dog's nose is its primary sense, so household odors hit them like blaring sirens. Citrus cleaner on the floor, lavender sachets tucked in drawers, or a plug-in deodorizer you barely notice can cause a canine migraine. Some dogs respond by whining, sneezing, or hiding under the bed. Others escalate to pacing or snapping when touched. Swap synthetic fragrances for vinegar water solutions, baking soda boxes, or HEPA filters. Open windows whenever weather allows. If you must use an air freshener near litter boxes or garbage pails, choose pet-safe products with minimal volatile, organic compounds, and keep the device far from your dog's rest area. Separation poses another hurdle. A dog left alone without conditioning often interprets your exit as abandonment by the pack. Stress hormones spike, leading to frantic door, scratching, howling that bothers neighbors, or self-injury from attempted escapes. Counter-conditioning starts small. Pick up keys, feed a high-value chew, step outside for 30 seconds, return calmly. Repeat multiple times a day until those cues predict a reward, not panic. Gradually expand the duration while monitoring via camera. In severe cases, a veterinary behaviorist may prescribe short-term medication to lower overall anxiety so training can work. Never punish destruction that occurs during your absence. The dog associates the reprimand with your arrival, not with the hours-old act, deepening anxiety. Physical activity is non-negotiable. Energy burned equals furniture saved and a cardiovascular system kept young. Determine your dog's optimal quota based on breed, age, and health. A 15-year-old pug might need 2 slow sniff walks totaling 30 minutes. A 3-year-old border collie may crave 5 miles plus puzzle toys. Quality trumps quantity. Let dogs stop to investigate scent posts instead of marching them on. Asphalt for an hour. That fragrant information is as enriching as mileage. Finally, dogs absorb our emotional weather. They smell cortisol when we're stressed, oxytocin when we're in love, and subtle muscle twitches we don't realize we make. If you're tense, your dog might pant, yawn, or pace. Taking 3 deep breaths, softening your shoulders, and speaking. In a calm tone, reassures them faster than any command. Conversely, letting your dog nuzzle your lap after a rough day lowers your blood pressure and theirs. The partnership flows both ways. Your peace is their peace. Translate these 10 silent requests into daily practice and watch your household transform. You'll see fewer chew marks, calmer greetings, smoother walks, and, most rewarding, a dog who gazes at you, not just with affection, but with a deeper trust that says, "You finally hear me." That silent sentence is the greatest compliment a dog can give and the surest sign you have become fluent in the language of paws, tails, and hearts.